Hey folks, this is Dana. Welcome to my incredibly messy shop. Pile of sticks working on shelves where I store stuff, more stuff waiting to be worked on. Gonna work on a root cane today. It's my favorite style of stick to do, and this is a piece of yellow birch, which is my favorite type of wood to work with. It's a nice strong wood, and the bark, once you put some finish on it, just glows like gold in the sunshine. This one cut about 8 or 9 months ago. Still got a lot of the dirt on it. And first thing I'm going to do is trim off all the smaller roots. Now this particular piece of yellow birch was growing on a rock. That's the thing about yellow birch, they'll grow nearly anywhere that they can get a purchase of some roots. And there's a boulder that had cracked and had a little bit of a shelf to it, and they just grew there anywhere where there's enough soil for it to take root, and they'll root. Yeah, I got most of the smaller roots off, so I can get an idea of the shape of the thing. That might make a nice second handle right there, actually. So I'm going to cut her off probably right around here. Well, it's going to be a fairly heavy stick if I leave it as is, so I'm probably going to take off some of the wood and all the bark in through here and trim these roots back. I kind of like to leave them, because they would look cool. But I think it's going to be too much weight to carry. And one of my favorite tools for removing a lot of wood quickly is one of these Shinto Rasps. It's got an aggressive side and a smoother side, and it is quite a nice tool. My other go-to tool for getting in corners like that, the Microplane File, the round version. They do tend to plug up a little bit inside, but you can just clean it out easy enough. Another good tool for getting the bark off, just an X-Acto knife with a curved blade on it. Gets into all the nice little corners that the files can't reach. A couple of cool little knot holes on this side. I'm going to have to file them down, but they should make for some interesting grain patterns in the final product. Yeah, we've got some of the shaping done. Probably take off a lot more right in here and bring that part down. Still haven't decided about keeping that root there. But, well, it's been a couple of days. I've come back to the yellow birch cane. I decided to take off that a little bit. Took off maybe half an inch of it. I'm going to smooth it down, see how it looks. I can always take off more of it. And working on the overall shape. Still need to remove quite a bit of material there, because it's just going to be too heavy to carry. If this had been maple or ash, I probably would have stripped bark completely and just sanded it all down. But yellow birch bark, like I said earlier, is just really nice looking when the finish hits it. And I try to preserve as much of it as possible. So I'm just going to whittle away at it, and I'll come back. Getting into some nice coloration on this side of the handle, the opposite side that I've been working on, so I'm probably not going to go too much deeper on this side, just to preserve that that color. A couple of small bird's eyes where roots had connected in the past, one there, another there. So we'll probably just give that a good smooth filing and then sanding on this side, and continue taking more material out on the other side. Give that a quick sanding so you can see more or less what it's going to look like when I'm done. I usually take it inside at this point, go over it with a pencil, finding spots that need a little more work, like that right there. And a few bits here and there that'll need it. And give it a quick sanding with something fairly heavy grit, and then take a small file and go over it again, and then resand it, and just carry on doing that until it looks good. It's getting a really nice feel to it. It's a little big still, so I got fairly big broad hands, I should say, not really long fingered or anything. I'd never make a piano player, but yeah, it's got a good feel to it, and it's obviously not straight, but you know, that's okay. It's thick enough that it isn't flimsy. You can see I got a little problem with my floor here, my dust collecting system. This is the floor, but you know, some makers won't touch a stick that's crooked, but I don't have any problem with them, because I think it gives them a little character. Well, I've gotten the handle pretty much to the shape I want it. Went over it with some small files. I was waiting for someone during a doctor's appointment, and sat in the parking lot and worked on it for a couple hours the other day. Brought a handful of files and things with me. And then for sanding, usually use a variety of sanding sponges, either these thin ones or the more blockier ones. It's an old one. And for odd shapes, those are really the best thing to do this with, because they really conform to the shape of the root. Now, as for the shank, you got to remove all these little curls of back, because, like I was saying, once your finish is on them, they'll turn into like mini razor blades, and plus it will expose some nice color, like that bronzy bit right there. That the outer back accumulates lichens and mosses and so on, and scrubbing it down, either peeling it by hand or scrubbing it down with a sanding sponge, will give you a lot better look. You can also go over it very lightly with the edge of a file, like that small file right there. That'll just don't put too much pressure, because you can really cut into the back that way. A little nub I have to remove there. It just sort of scrapes off the worst bits, and then go at it with the sanding sponge. Now, as far as the little lumps and bumps on them, it's kind of a judgment call, really. These two were quite prominent and just didn't look that great, so I filed them down and sand them. This one's not so bad, so I'll probably just give that a good sanding. Now this stick has a bit of a dog leg at the base, as well as a bunch of moss still. So I'm probably going to cut it off right there, just above that dog leg, just so that it has a nice even base to it. And that gives the back quite a nice glow. Like I say, brings out all the colors in the handle. And that's basically the last step. And I think though for my next project, I'm going to work on this piece of maple. I actually cut it the same day I did that other stick, that yellow birch. And this one, I think it got knocked over at some point and continued to grow. I think that bit right there was the original trunk, and it got pushed over by something, and this branch became the new header, and another branch became a secondary one, but it made a nice, almost natural crook shape. And it's had some damage. I think a buck was shining up his antlers on it during the fall rut season. I don't know if that's what knocked it over, but it should be an interesting project. We'll see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.